ladies and gentlemen. First off, happy Halloween. It is a Monday night, a Halloween night. Hope y'all are getting ready for some nice festive activities, watching scary movies, eating Halloween candy, or sitting on your phone or mobile, any type of mobile electronic device, watching Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy right here on Fans Only Sports Network. I am your host, Chet, and to my right is my counterpart, Duffy. Duffy, happy Halloween, my man. Spooky season finally coming to an end. How are you doing today?
Spooky season, man. We had a long villainous weekend. I got to see Chet dressed up as the Weeknd. He looked awesome. He looked great. I loved it. So we had a great time, and I'm happy I got to see him this weekend. But I had a great week, Halloween week here at URI. Taking a little night off probably tonight. Probably just gonna hit Applebee's after this, and with the team, with the football team, the flag football team that we just had going. We just won a playoff game, but some controversy. We went to fourth. We kind of broke some rules, but I'm doing good though. I'm doing good other than that. I'm doing something on my mind right now, but it's football related, and that's what we're gonna get into soon. So I'm excited to get it going. We have not went live on Unapologetic in a couple weeks, so
yeah,
we went live on Instagram Thursday, or I think it was Friday morning or Friday afternoon actually.
Yeah, Friday.
We're gonna be going live on Instagram, live on the FO Sports Instagram on Thursdays from now on, and we're gonna be doing our show Unapologetic on Facebook for all of our friends and family, and any other podcast page we shoot this to on Mondays. So
absolutely. Exciting. So be sure to check in every Monday right here on our YouTube channel, and of course on our personal Facebook profiles and the Fans Only Sports Facebook and YouTube page. We weren't able to connect it to the Fans Only Sports Facebook page for tonight, but it's right there on YouTube. And then every Thursday now, at least for the foreseeable future, we're going to go on Instagram Live and do our show there. So be sure to tune in then. And then also, Duffy, you and I already discussed this in terms of it. Sure, it's Halloween. It was a Halloween costume, but I think Chet should don the Weeknd outfit as a staple of his attire at any Fans Only Sports major sporting event that we cover throughout the broadcast season. I don't know. What do you think?
Say it one more time, dude. Sorry, I was talking the flag football with this controversy.
Yeah, bro. No, I was saying how funny would that be if every major game I commentate with Fans Only Sports, I don the Weeknd outfit for it.
We were talking about that the last couple of days. I think you look fire. We have playoffs coming up this weekend on Fans Only Sports. We'll check out our game. Me and Chet might work together. We're not sure yet. But we have some playoff games we'll be covering, and hopefully we'll get a shot of Chet on the stream in his Weeknd fit. He has a slick red jacket. He looks very handsome in it. So
thank you, dude. I appreciate that. But all right, let's not waste any more time about all this chit-chat and talk about what's going on in football, starting off with the regional, or at least the region we live in. We all know and love is New England. The Patriots walked into this game. I had very low expectations for them. I picked the Jets last week to defeat.
You're a casual, bro. That's crazy.
And the Patriots managed to come into the Meadowlands and defeat the Jets 22-17. It wasn't the greatest offensive performance, but it gave Belichick the second most wins of all time by a head coach. He is still chasing Don Shula for the most wins by an NFL head coach. And he proved on Sunday that he still owns the New York Jets as they go into the Meadowlands and narrowly defeat them 22-17. Mac Jones struggled throughout the game, was sacked 6 times in the affair, under duress for most of it, but the offense and the defense managed to put enough together to walk away with a victory and move to 4-4 on the season.
Yeah, 4-4 on the season now. Pats get to 500, still last place in the East, which is a good division this year, but first and foremost, that Jets defense, like you said, is elite. 6 sacks again. Made Mac look like he's regressed a little bit, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, though, Pats. This is a must-win game. It's 13 straight wins against the New York Jets, and the Jets are the Pats. B word, I guess, but it was a great win. Sloppy, wasn't pretty. Was down at halftime. That pick 6 that was overturned on John Franklin Myers was really the turning point of the game for the Jets. Mac Jones threw an 82-yard pick 6 in the half and was roughing the passer on John Franklin Myers. So help the Patriots get 3. They marched on the field second half, get in the end zone, and then Zach Wilson back-to-back picks, Devin McCourty. And they were two terrible picks. And it was very similar to the picks he threw in the Meadowlands last year against the Patriots on the run. I saw a tweet or an Instagram meme that Zach Wilson is like Patrick Mahomes if he played every game blacked out. So pretty accurate statement. He looks like he was seeing ghosts. Sorry to PTSD to any Jets fans out there. But nothing unusual. Pats get a lot of picks off the Jets quarterback, and they get the victory. So 22-17, it really wasn't that close in the second half. Jets only got in the end zone once with about a minute and a half to go. So it was a must-win game for the Pats. Now the Jets fall to 5-3. We might see the same old Jets in the future. They got Buffalo next week, the New York Jets. So, Pats a chance there to, jump them in the division as Pats, I think, play Indy next week with Sam Ellinger at quarterback. So it's a great win for the Pats, especially after the terrible loss last week to the Chicago Bears. Sloppy game that I was at. Fucking sucked. Sorry to swear, but sucked. It was really bad. So it was great to see the Pats get back to business, get back to work, and get back to being them on a road game.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely made up for the tough loss that they suffered against the Chicago Bears at home. And something to really highlight is Ramondre Stevenson, ever since taking over the backfield for Damian Harris. Harris was back in this one. He had 11 rushes for 37 yards. Stevenson, with 16 carries for 71 yards, busted off a 35-yard run, and then finished the day with 7 receptions for 72 yards. I believe at this point that Ramondre Stevenson has overtaken Damian Harris on the depth chart and has officially become the running back number 1 for the Patriots offense. He just is really transformed into this stud running back that we didn't expect last season. Starting off in week 1, fumbled right away on his first carry, was benched for most of the weeks, and then finally came back, slowly started to show that he was very capable of running the football. But this season has been a amazing year for Ramondre Stevenson. And I think at this point, people can really circle this guy and say he's going to be an offensive threat going into each week.
Absolutely. I mean, he's an X factor week in, week out. He runs so strong. He had that huge run on that touchdown drive to be in the second half, and it really helped change the tide of the game. He's a difference maker. He's a beast. And I think I saw a tweet the other week. It was injuries are doing Belichick's job for him. And that was kind of during the whole Zappy train too, so I'm not going to get into that really because you know how Zappy was last week. But Damian Harris getting hurt opened the door for Ramondre Stevenson, and now we have a legit feature back, I think, in New England for the foreseeable future, and it's great to see. It's very admirable, very promising. But we know how Pat's running backs are. It's a revolving door with them. And we thought the same thing about Damian Harris 2 years ago. So, Ramondre's he's got legs, he's got wheels, he's got the dreads, he's got the drip. Love him. And Jacoby Myers, too. Great game. 9 catches. I think it was 9. It might have been even more than 9. He had 9 catches, 60 yards, touchdown. He's a beast. Always shines against the Jets. But Mac Jones, good second half. I mean, finished 24 of 35, still under 200 yards passing, so only averaged about 5.7 yards per attempt or something like that. But got the job done. And it's a good pick-me-up game for Mac. This is his second win of the season as a starting quarterback. Both games on the road against AFC teams. The other one being Pittsburgh back in week 2. But I'm happy to see it, man. It was a promising win. It wasn't very pretty, but it's a good defense. The New York Jets. We've seen the last few weeks. They're a stout defense. They're definitely in the top, 6 or 7 defense in the league right now. So, absolutely mark on Aaron Rodgers and company the other week, and just won the last 4 games. So, very momentous game for the Pats to really regain that traction in the AFC East and to kind of just minimize the Jets' momentum. Now we're gonna see the same old Jets from here on out. We're gonna see the same old Jets. So. Hopefully.
I mean,
Wilson, man, he sucks. He's not good, bro. I've been saying it. He's never been good. Trevor Lawrence has been shit. This 2021 quarterback draft class is so mid.
It really is.
5 in the first round, and I think it's safe to say that Mac Jones is probably the best out of all of them. But the way he's been playing this year, man, I mean, just regression, but different play caller. We got 3 guys calling plays on for the Pats. I think in a more structured offense, Mac will really set himself aside the best, but you haven't seen it this year. But yesterday, good win for the Pats, going for Mac Jones. He's now 3-0 against Zach Wilson, so it gets him up there a little bit in the rankings for me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to agree. I just think Mac has just definitely struggled a lot this season, and it definitely kind of comes down to, I mean, it definitely has to come down to the fact that, we have three guys calling the plays, and it's a lot for a quarterback to handle when he's got three different guys probably telling him three different things while he's going to the line of scrimmage. And then on top of that, the offensive line has just not looked what it has been before. Trent Brown has kind of looked abysmal on that right side of the line. And this week, giving up 6 sacks to the Jets. Jets have a good, solid front seven, so it's no surprise there that they're able to get there. But thing is, when you look at Mac Jones in that pocket, he looks very awkward, and he also just doesn't look very calm and poised like most quarterbacks do. You need to, for Mac Jones, he needs to just figure out a way to kind of get himself back to that point where he's more relaxed, can be able to read the defense and make the throw. Because as of right now, it just seems like sometimes he's just taking a chance or being like, I just got to throw the ball because I'm not trying to take a hit right now. And it's almost as if, and it's definitely a mental thing. It's definitely a mental thing that comes into the game because he doesn't want to make a mistake. He doesn't want to. There's a lot of pressure on him. We've looked at this guy as, hey, he's technically the heir to what Tom Brady brought to the table, but you can't really expect the guy to replicate Tom Brady at the end of the day. This is a totally different player, and I think it's going to take some time. Defenses have been able to prep all off season for him. They have tape on him now. They know how he plays. This is just a sophomore year blues for him at some point, so he's just got to adjust to that and keep progressing going forward.
Sophomore slump. We see with a lot of these first-round quarterbacks, but
yeah. And I mean, Justin Fields, he's definitely climbed back up the last couple weeks.
He might be better. He's definitely better than Zach Wilson, I think, at this point.
Which is funny.
I say that, but Zach Wilson's not that good. He's not that guy. It's Justin Fields. I mean, he had a good game yesterday against Dallas as well. A couple touchdown passes. I think he had 2 or 3, but he, that Bears team, they can score points. They're sneaky. They're a sneaky offense for no reason. The last couple of weeks. So, at the end of the day, I mean, Pats, good division this year, 4-4, like I said, but still last place. So got to keep getting these wins that you should win these games. You should win. I think yesterday was the prime example, but you didn't think so because you picked the Jets because you're Mickey. So,
hey, I mean, I had some doubts.
Imagine picking against your own team with the Jets, dude. That's crazy, bro.
Hey, I kind of had to. The Jets kind of had me for a sec. They really did. But you know what? They proved me. The Patriots proved me wrong, and hopefully they continue to prove me wrong going forward. But a good pick-me-up win, a good confidence boost for Mac Jones going forward. And I think as long as he continues to develop going throughout the season, I'm sure he'll be fine. And he just needs to be able to seal the deal because the Patriots schedule, as we've mentioned, does not get any easier. Got the Colts next week. I mean, the Colts have not been playing well at all. They lost yesterday to the Commanders. And then after the bye week, they'll take on the Jets again at home. Then they'll go to Minnesota and play the Vikings on Thursday night. And then they'll come home and play the Buffalo Bills. And that's a game that I am not looking forward to because I have a bad feeling about that one. And interesting enough, we'll probably get to this, but I don't know if you saw that. I sent you that post today about how the Bills were actually talking to the Saints about trading for Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, no shot that happens.
And I can't believe that I didn't fact check us on Instagram Live last week.
That was my fault. I dropped some fake news. I said I got a notification from Twitter. Kareem Hunt's going to the Bills, and
it's one of those fake NFL Twitter accounts.
Yeah, you fact checked it like later in the podcast, though. So.
I did. It's just I should have checked it in the moment because then I went on a big eulogy about why this is so good for the Buffalo Bills. Yep, but nonetheless, Bills, they're going to be a formidable force. They've been a formidable force all year, taking down Green Bay last night. But speaking of night games, game that's going on right now that we haven't really...
Cheeky transition.
Yeah, a little cheeky transition. Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Cleveland Browns right now. There's about 1:30 left in the first quarter. Score still sitting at 0-0. Both teams coming into the affair right now. Bengals 4-3, Browns 2-5. Browns have really, really struggled after looking rather decent at the start of this season. Bengals have had a shaky start throughout the season so far, but they managed to kind of found their groove again. A win tonight would be crucial for them to put them another game above 500 to prevent them from hitting 500 total. But Joe Burrow already throwing a pick in this game, and that's something that he's dealt with all year is mistakes, a lot of mistakes. He's thrown a lot of picks this season, and I think if the Bengals want to walk out of Cleveland with a win tonight, they're going to have to make sure they limit the mistakes and get that run game going because Joe Mixon's had himself a very, very slow season.
I mean, he's been okay. He's getting a lot of touches, but I need 30 fantasy points from Joe tonight, and he has 3 carries for 6 yards right now. But
yep.
We very seldom. He has 3 catches though for 5 yards. I'm getting those cheeky PPR points, but
yeah, I need him to go off too in a league.
Damn, both these teams not playing up to par this year. Bengals, their winning record 4-3, but we're defending AFC champs, losing games against teams that you should beat. It's not going to be the best reviews, but this is a team they should beat. The Cleveland Browns have struggled a lot this year. Fortunately for the Browns, it's in Cleveland, but right now, live update, Bengals have the ball second at midfield right now. So I'm excited to get back to watching that game after this. But, I think the Bengals should win this game. They're a better team than the Browns. I think everyone knows that. Jacoby Brissett, really not that guy. Bengals defense, pretty solid D this year, but, the Browns, how bad do they want Deshaun Watson back? I know he who must not be named on Unapologetic with TJ and B.
Absolutely. TJ and B, what is this? Bro, you've done this like 3 times now.
Second time I've done that. Holy sh! Yeah, Chet and Duffy, dude. Oh my god, man. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
Brissett right now, 4-4, 65 yards. But this is a big game for the AFC North. There's really not a standout squad in the AFC North. And the Ravens are, they're 5-3 as well. So they just beat the Bucs on Thursday night. We didn't really talk about that game. No, we did on Friday, actually. What's wrong with me?
We did.
So Bengals, they got to win this game to catapult the Ravens. I don't think they've played yet, if I'm not mistaken, this year. So
no,
it would be a big division win to get that tiebreaker loading. But it's really between those 2 teams right now, Bengals and Ravens. And Ravens looking tough. Look at their back this year. Their 3 losses are all 3 games they should have probably won.
Actually, no. The Bengals did play the Ravens. They lost 19-17.
Oh, they lost on Sunday night. Justin talked right down the middle, baby. That's right.
Yeah. So I picked the Bengals to upset them.
Ravens will. Yeah, you did because you're Mickey. The Ravens will still be in first place.
That's a tough game to call.
I had the Ravens -3 that game. I was pissed it didn't cover. But I like them tonight, the Bengals. So give me the Bengals tonight. I'm going to say live final score prediction, 27-20.
Yeah, I still think Cincinnati will be able to walk away with a win. We haven't been able to see them put up the numbers that they, they did last season. But honestly, that team didn't really start to go off until the second half of the year, which will probably likely happen this year again, I think.
We'll start last year too, for sure.
And Jamar Chase injured. He will probably be out for the next 4-6 weeks. They're going to put him on IR as far as we know. So the Bengals, they're really going to have to go to T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and Hayden Hurst and just hope that offensive line can run block for Joe Mixon, because so far it's been a very tough year for him to get the ball moving on the ground. So we'll see how things go, but I think Nick Chubb on the other side and Kareem Hunt, if they can somehow pair them together like they have been all year, get them something, but it hasn't really done much for them. Jacoby Brissett, as you said, Duffy, has just not really been the guy in that offense. And like you said, desperately waiting for Deshaun Watson to come back, but he's not going to be back till week 11. So this team's kind of just be begging for scraps really at this point. Tonight, I think, as if Cleveland's defense can hold up.
Oh, dude, I'm wearing the Browns shirt, actually. I forgot about that.
Which is funny, yeah.
Actually, dude, give me the Browns. 23-20 Cleveland wins.
Wow.
I'm changing my prediction. This is a division game at home. This color scheme is so perfect for Halloween.
Yep.
They did that on purpose.
They definitely did.
They definitely did it on purpose. The orange teams on Halloween, spooky Monday night game.
They always have the Bengals play on Halloween, I feel. They did that. I feel like they always do that now.
Maybe. Yeah, I think they did it when it was on Thursday the other year. But
yeah, I remember one year it was Miami and Cincinnati.
Yes, that's right. I remember that. That's the game I was thinking of. But give me the Browns, man. 23-20 at home. I have to switch up on the Bengals, but it's like going in our record book. By the way, I went 2-0 again this week against Jets. I'm up to 10-6 on the year. But what's new, man? What's new, man? It's back-to-back 2-0 weeks for your boys, so.
Yeah, I'm only 3 games back, so watch yourself.
It's pretty tough. And only in week 8, they're only 3 games back. That's tough.
Hey, we were evened up not too long ago. That could easily happen in no
14 days ago, we were even up.
2 weeks ago, yeah. At 6-6.
Yeah.
But regardless, looking at the way this game goes, I mean, I still will pick Cincinnati in this one. Joe Burrow will put it together at some point. This team usually finds its groove in the second half. The run game will probably find its rhythm at some point. And I'm going to give a final score of this one of 24-21. Cincinnati.
Right. We'll move on, though. It's going to be a quick gentleman bet. $5 live. See, the thing with these bets is that we never end up paying each other because I think we always forget that we did this. But
yes, we always do. But don't tell them that. They don't know.
We're going to remember tonight, $5 on the line. Give me the Browns with the brown shirt. I just won a quarterback playoff game with this shirt on. So, feeling good. Threw 2 touchdown passes, so I'm feeling good.
Well, that will suck if you guys have to forfeit a win.
We're probably screwed because we kind of broke the rules. So it's
yeah, you did. They're probably going to discipline you hardcore. But hey, whatever. It's your senior year. Who cares?
Who cares? We'll be back in the spring to win on our final Mary.
Unless they decide they don't want you back.
Dude, yeah, maybe.
That could happen. You never know.
It could, but I was respectful to Sean Butler, the IM leagues, guy. So hopefully we're all good.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no animosity built up because of that.
Yeah.
Moving on, there was a lot of studs this past week in football. This past week, you look at a lot of players, specifically running backs and wide receivers, just going off. Oh, my God. Like the yards from scrimmage from these individual players is ridiculous. So I knew right away coming onto this show tonight, we had to talk about a few of these guys. And I managed to put together a list.
Great list. Put together. And they all play the same position.
They're all tailbacks. So starting off at number 3.
Go from 3 to 1. I was going to say, go from 3 to 1.
Yeah, starting off at number 3, you have to look at what is going on in Dallas right now. And this has been a problem, not really a problem, but it's been a thing that we foresaw since last year. Ezekiel Elliott has really started to fall off the talented running back that we knew he was when he came into the league. And some people say, hey, it's because he got his contract. He's just riding it out. All he cares about is the money. I don't think that's the case. But I mean, hey, I just think he's just lost his step. He's a running back who's ground and pound, and he's going to lose that touch after a while. After getting crushed so many times, he's going to lose that speed. Tony Pollard, a guy drafted a few years ago, has slowly stepped into the premier back role, or at least somewhat of a premier back. Yesterday, he really showed that off against the Chicago Bears, scoring 3 touchdowns in the 49-29 Dallas Cowboys victory with 14 carries for 131 yards and then had 1 catch for 16 yards. Pollard looking like just a stud. However, Jerry Jones said after the game, Ezekiel Elliott's still the guy at the end of the day. They're still going to go in between the two. But I think with Tony Pollard outshining Ezekiel Elliott all season long with this one game really makes me turn my head a bit and be like, I don't know, man. I think you have to rethink that statement.
Yeah, man. It sucks I dropped him in the one league I had him in, which is unfortunate. It was the league with our boys from school. I've lost 6 in a row now. I was 2-0, so sucks. But yeah, I mean, Pollard 2 starts for the Cowboys in the last 2 years. In both games he's balled. I think last year was against the Saints on TNF. He absolutely balled out. And yesterday, 3 touchdowns. He had that icing touchdown in the fourth quarter of, I think it was 57 yards to pay dirt, which was amazing. But he's a beast. And I think Zeke, if they don't give Zeke that contract, this is a no-brainer. You have to start Pollard, make him the feature back, and just Dallas being Dallas. I mean, they've always been so efficient running the football. They're gonna get him involved anyways. But yesterday really showed that they have a supreme playmaker in Tony Pollard, and the guy who can ice games, who can get you touchdowns. But he had 3 touchdowns, and 2 of them were from, pretty good amount of yards, pretty good range, and a lot of fantasy points on the board for running backs all around the league. Honorable mention to Deontay Foreman too. 3 touchdowns for him. Carolina. What a game that was. TJ Moore, by the way, gotta mention him, man. That was amazing.
Oh yeah.
PJ Walker, I mean.
Yeah.
It's the best throw I've seen in a long time, probably since the Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary. So I'm regressing a little bit or digressing, but Tony Pollard, start that man. You got to start him and give him some pay him a little bit. He's a beast. He's a stud.
He really is. He really is. And definitely an honorable mention to Donta Foreman. I definitely wanted to kind of talk, like possibly put him in the list, but obviously you can't really go that. We can't really hold you guys in that long and that sort of thing. But crazy how he's going off despite Christian McCaffrey going off to San Francisco. And I mean, for him, that's huge because Donta Foreman coming into the league was definitely a back that looked like he could have a chance to make something happen, and now he does. So a good honorable mention for him. Now moving up to the number 2 spot. This man, I mean, he's the king. He's the king of all backs when it comes to it. And you have to talk about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry yesterday setting a franchise record in touchdowns for the Tennessee Titans. Had himself a 32-yard carry day for 219 yards.
He's 28 years old, too. He already broke the record, man.
Scored 2 touchdowns. Both of them were the only touchdowns the Titans scored the whole game, beating the Texans 17-10, and then having 1 catch for 9 yards with Malik Willis at quarterback, who only threw 55 yards in the game. Henry
only threw 55 yards the whole game?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy.
Man, I'll say it right here. And yesterday I wanted to hammer every Derrick Henry prop, and I just didn't do it because I just forgot to do it, honestly. But the Texans are Derrick Henry's B word, and everyone knows that. We saw it in his 2,000-yard year. He had 200-yard games. He did in 2019 as well as 4 straight games against the same team with 200+ and 2 touchdowns. He's an absolute beast. I have in one league, got me 35 points, which is amazing. I actually dropped almost 200 points in this league, in my Duncan league with all my old Duncan homies. And I had a ton on the bench too. I had so much on the bench. I had McLaurin, Latavius Murray, Dak on the bench, Algier, but my team was balling yesterday, eating up. And, just Derrick Henry, man. He's a beast. And I think him against the Texans alone in his career is enough to make him a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Fame running back. I think yesterday solidified it. And I think it's tough to even call running backs Hall of Famers because, they don't play a long time, a lot of them. And you're going to be so great to be a running back in the Hall of Fame. You talk about LT, Emmitt Smith, AP. Derrick Henry is in that echelon. He's the best running back of our generation. It's not even close, in my opinion. The guy next on our list, you could argue he's up there too, but Derrick Henry, man, this is the king, bro. He's the king.
Really is. He is. And it was for me, it wasn't really a tough decision to make for the number 1 spot. Obviously, Derrick Henry, though, had an argument to be the number 1 guy this week for the top plays or players this past week. And for me, the number 1 guy, you got to give it to him because this is a record that no running back has ever accomplished. Only 2 have done this before. Christian McCaffrey yesterday had himself an amazing game in his second game in a 49ers uniform. You think guys go to teams, they get traded, and they have to learn the play system. They have to learn the playbook. They have to know everything about the new team they're with. And only in his second game, Christian McCaffrey, 18 carries for 94 yards, a touchdown on the ground, and then through the air, he had himself 8 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. And then he threw a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk for 34 yards. The only running backs to ever throw, run, and receive a touchdown were Walter Payton and LaDainian Tomlinson. He joins them as the third
run, receive, and pass, right?
Yes. He's the third running back of all time to ever do that. And that is quite an incredible record, which is why Derrick Henry, my God, I can't believe I keep saying that. This is why Christian McCaffrey deserves the number 1 spot this week for that record and the fact that in his second game, he is able to do this. Christian McCaffrey is all around a great running back for that.
And do I think Henry had a better natural game than McCaffrey? Probably. But like you said, Chet, it was his second game in the system. And we can say goodbye to this until he gets hurt again. Let's hope he doesn't. I want some wood. We can say goodbye to this, 3-4 running back system that the Niners have. This is the guy. Christian McCaffrey's that guy's going to come in your organization and make an immediate impact. And we even saw it with Garoppolo. Garoppolo went 21 of 25 yesterday for 234 yards and a touchdown to McCaffrey, albeit. But McCaffrey, absolute beast. He had 38 fantasy points, which was unbelievable. And he's that guy. And he looked very comfortable in that Niners offense. Was phenomenal yesterday. I'm happy for him. Panthers have been a poverty team for a while now. McCaffrey, he was carrying that squad, getting 55% of their scrimmage yards in 2019 and getting hurt the last 2 years. But now that he's healthy, he's back. He's a beast. He's still that guy. And yesterday really proved it. And like I said, I've said this phrase 3 times already today, but the Rams are the 49ers B word. It's unbelievable. And this is, I think, 8 straight wins for the 49ers against the Rams. I know they didn't win the one that mattered the most, the NFC Championship last year, but 8 straight regular season wins against the Rams. And it's unbelievable, that streak in general against a good team like the Rams have really been the last 5 years. That's a really good team. Shanahan owns McVay. And with McCaffrey in that system now, I mean, we're looking at a Niners team that we can see them back in the NFC Championship. With how weak that NFC is, they have some tough games coming up ahead. Not really, actually. They have the Chargers. In 2 weeks, they've had their bye week next week. Chargers, Cardinals, Saints, Dolphins, Bucks at home, Seattle, Washington, Raiders, and the Cardinals. I mean, they could probably go another 10-7 season again. They could. I don't even think they're going to lose 4 of those games. They'll probably go 11-6. I mean, that's a good team. They looked phenomenal yesterday. That was their best game all year. The 49ers against a good team like the Rams in LA. McCaffrey, he is him. So he's him.
He really is him. He really is him. And those are our top 3 players from week 8. And I think this is definitely a segment that we might have to do going forward.
This is a new Monday segment. We love it already. So
yeah,
that's the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. The idea.
I gotta get my charger real quick. So start the World Series talk because I'm a casual with baseball anyways. So
sure, absolutely. So moving into the MLB World Series, the 2022 season highlights the NL representative, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the AL representative, the Houston Astros, who have made it for the 4th time in 6 years. Definitely something to highlight there. They have just owned the AL in terms of their play in baseball. And for the Phillies, this is a team that really shocked the world, taking down the St. Louis Cardinals in the first round. Then they go to Atlanta and take down the defending World Series champs. And then they go on to the NL pennant and then manage to take out, and I don't know why I'm drawing a blank here. I should really know who is in the NL. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why am I drawing this blank? My goodness. Phillies. Come on. You know this. You really know this. Padres. Are you kidding me? How could I not remember that? The Padres, who are hot off of defeating the LA Dodgers. And this team has somehow, out of nowhere, struck postseason magic. You couldn't have asked for a better look of a team that has a chance to win it all. And right now, this team has boasted a very stellar lineup, with Bryce Harper leading the charge, along with players like Rhys Hoskins, JT Realmuto, Zach Wheeler as a premier pitcher, Aaron Nola, and a very strong bullpen. This team definitely brings a lot to the table. However, we're talking about the Astros, who have big playmakers like Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, and then premier pitchers like Justin Verlander, Lance McCullers Jr., Luis Garcia. Just amazing playmakers all around from both squads. Right now, series tied up at 1 apiece. Phillies managed to win game 1, 6-5, battling back from a 5-0 deficit.
Huge
the starters
comeback.
were the only players until the end of the game in the 10th inning when JT Realmuto hit a game-winning home run that secured the deal for the Phillies to go on and close the game out. However, dropping game 2 by a score of 5-2, that actually happened when we were at Matt and Jared's house on Saturday. Tonight's game was supposed to be game 3 in Philadelphia. However, that game has been postponed due to rain, so the game will commence tomorrow and push the series back. But as of right now, for me, I really am picking the Phillies. I just love what the Phillies have brought to the table this MLB postseason. They are just a team that has struck gold in terms of baseball postseason magic. They're a team that just came out of nowhere with that. They've just gotten a very strong lineup to back it, strong bullpen. The Astros, though, They are no strangers to the occasion. As I've said, 4th time in 6 years that they've made it to the World Series. So this is going to be a game. This is going to be a series that I think without a doubt will go to 7 games. But I think Philly will be able to hoist the trophy for Philadelphia for the first time since 2009.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I like him a lot. I mean, Bryce Harper, I've been saying all postseason, he has something to prove. I love history. You know, like you said, the Astros have a great bullpen, but a great pitching staff. But, you know, Phillies, man. This is a team trying to be the first ever 6th seed. The first even to make it the Champions World Series, and now the chance to win. That'll be historic. And it's given me, you know, the last 2 years in baseball have been crazy. I mean, the Nationals being the Astros, I think as a 5 seed, was it? Or maybe it was a 4 seed.
Something like that.
They're a wild card team, though, right? The Nationals.
I think so. I think so.
The Braves last year, they had the worst record of any playoff team last year, and they won the World Series. And now we got the Phillies in the same boat. So baseball is one of those sports where any team can win any game. And I think the Phillies, you know, coming back from 5-0 on the road, you know, going back for this 3-game homestand, it's going to be very pivotal for them. You know, they got to pull out at least 2 of these games if they want to have a chance to win. But we know the Astros, how they are on the road in the postseason. They've been clutch the last 2 years. You know, this is a team with a lot of championship pedigree, 4 appearances in this World Series in the last 6 years. I think they've knocked on the doorstep the 2 years they missed too. I know they lost to the Red Sox in 2018, the ALCS, and maybe against the Rays in 2022. I don't even know.
2020.
2020, I mean. 2020, comma, too. That's what I meant. The TO.
Yeah.
They lost to the Rays in the ALCS, right?
Yes, they did.
This team is always in it, man.
They always are.
And but only one ring to show for it. So who else did they lose to in the World Series? They beat the Dodgers, but who else did they lose to?
Braves, Nationals.
Oh, they lost last year too. That's right. I'm dumb. My bad.
Yeah.
But give me back-to-back World Series L's for the Astros, man. Karma's a real thing, you know.
Yeah.
This team is cheated. Me and Chet that was fresh news back in 2019 when we first made our first ever podcast of First Things Last. You know, they were in the World Series that year.
Yeah.
With the Nationals, and it was right after all the cheating stuff came out. So, you know, we've already seen them lose 2 World Series in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And let's make it a dynasty of World Series losses.
It'd be just as bad as the Buffalo Bills, except they actually have a World Series to boast for it at the end of the day, except it's just the one.
They do.
But I definitely want to go back to that point you made about Bryce Harper having something to prove. This is a guy who, when he was scouted in high school, people knew immediately this guy was going to be a stud. Drafted by the Washington Nationals and promoted in 2012 at age 19, went on to being one of the most premier players in all of baseball, never could get his team to the next level. And then in 2019, the Nationals decide to not retain his contract and extend him. They let him walk, and he goes and signs with the Phillies. And he says in his first interview that he's going to win a World Series championship for Washington. Washington Nationals go on to win the World Series that year without Bryce Harper. They never do it again after the fact. But all those years, it definitely was a chip on Bryce Harper's shoulder. The team he left won a World Series the year after he left. And all this time, this is his first ever World Series at all. And for him, at age 30 now, he is looking for something to prove. He came off the IL this season, hungry and ready to go, and he has had quite the postseason. He could honestly be the postseason MVP if this team makes it and wins the whole thing. But he just has a lot to prove right now, and I think he's going to help his team do it, and he's got a strong lineup to prove it.
Sure does. And like I said, man, karma comes in mysterious ways, and you know, Astros losing 3 World Series they should have won. That would be awesome. And us Boston fans, we don't like the Astros, so
no. New York definitely has more to hate with them.
New York definitely has the top spot with a big gap in between, but Astros are they're probably the top of the next tier.
Yeah.
Who likes the Astros? No one that wasn't already an Astros fan likes the Astros.
Yeah.
So.
Unless you're from Texas, you don't like them.
Yeah. because they were dog shit for so long
Yeah.
before they started becoming good. So
Yeah.
screw them.
Yeah.
They're Phillies. I never thought I'd root for Philly, man. My roommate's an Eagles fan. It sucks hearing this 17-0 talk every day. But
I
hey,
don't think
man,
that's going to
root for
happen. If it
Philly here.
does, it's literally going to be because they have one of the
You know
easiest
what
regular
hard is to
season
win
schedules.
17 straight games though? That doesn't make any sense. That's so difficult to do.
Yeah, and Tom Brady at least had more experience in the league than Jalen Hurts did. And I guess you could say, oh, AJ Brown's the equivalent to Randy Moss. I will not put that out there, though. He's not.
Who said that? Who said
Exactly.
that?
No, I'm just saying. If he ever says that, you can quote that I said that and said that's dog.
Oh
That's
yeah,
dog
if he says
crap.
that, I'll be pissed. I'll be pissed off.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too. I'd be pissed too.
He would never compare Jalen to Tom Brady because you don't like
can't.
Tom Brady. So oh, so you can't even say that. That's just blasphemous.
Yeah.
They're both blasphemous takes, but that
Yeah.
would be top tier blasphemy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Well, that concludes discussion here this Monday night on Unapologetic with Chet and Duffy. We thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to tune in on Thursday night on the FOZ Sports Instagram page.
No Z after O, but FO Sports with a Z. That's what you meant to say.
That's what I meant to say. FO Sports with a Z at the end, right on Fans Only Sports Instagram. Go ahead and give them a follow on Instagram so you catch us live on Thursday night. That should be around 7 p.m., I'd want to say, but times usually change between us with our busy schedules. But we'll be going live on Thursday, so be sure to tune in for that. But until next time, this is Chet Duffy signing off, and we will see you on the next episode. And as always, go Pats.
Go Pats.